for the 46th District, Kathy Schmaltz. Hi,
How
Kathy.
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's good to see you always. I see you out and about too at all the events, which is great.
You as well. You're everywhere.
Yes, back to school blast was wonderful, and then we were in session in Lansing during the 100th Disability Connection, so I had to give John Hart the tribute the next day. So we gave him a tribute for the 100th. He does a wonderful job there, and it's so needed, and we support him so much. And I said, there you go for another 100 years. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, it is. I think it's really neat to see you at all the community events, and a lot of people do comment that that's the one time they do get to see their representative. So thanks for coming to the events.
Oh no, I think everybody's got my cell phone number and my passcode too, so they can always call me. Well, that's what you're there for. You're there to be accessible to everyone and do what you can to help.
We've had the superintendents on this summer, and they're all concerned because they don't know what their state allocation is going to be, because state government has not come up with a budget for education. And unfortunately, education budgets started July 1.
Right.
The state budget doesn't start till October 1.
Right.
But
so we stayed in session, especially July 1st, because we wanted to get this done. We sent it to the Senate. The Senate did not send us anything back, and then they adjourned. So there's nothing that we could do. We wanted that budget done by July 1st. It was so important for us in the State House, because it's not fair to our school superintendents to not know what money they're going to have to deal with. And of course, our budget proposal calls for a per pupil increase to $12,000 per student. It's $9,608 right now. And again, we gave them more flexibility, taking away the categories. So like up north, they'll need more money for transportation. Here, they wouldn't. So it gives them more flexibility in how they want to spend the money. Some superintendents like it, some don't. But we're still working on that. But it's in the Senate. We're waiting for them to come back with what they want to see, and so far, nothing.
yeah, and really, it's not just the education budget, it's everything.
Right.
Everything, all year long. The House and Senate just can't agree.
So of course you have the House in the Republican hands, the Senate in the Democratic hands. And actually the governor seems to be working with us, because she's got her roads plan. We have our roads plan. The Senate does nothing but complain about our roads plan, so they don't even have a roads plan. So she wants to get that done really well. So she seems to be working with us on that. I know it's not good to have all of their bills sitting in our House and all of our bills sitting in the Senate. We have to get things done. There's a lot of things we can agree on, like fixing our local roads, so let's just do it. And I don't like that, I love to get things done. So being in government, everything works so slow and everybody wants to fight about everything, and but you gotta keep pushing.
I think we've had maybe 4 bills that have actually passed the legislature this year.
6,
Yeah.
something like that. You know what, there's two feelings about that. At least they're not passing stupid things,
Yeah.
but they should be getting more done. So people have mixed feelings about that.
Well, besides having you at and supporting community events and organizations, what I think a lot of those in the community appreciate is the ability for our representatives to make special provisions so that state dollars end up in Jackson. And you're working on a couple of those things right now.
Yes, we did a different process this year. So all the budget requests that we want for our district had to go online for everybody to see. And then we had to put what the money is going to be used for. And now this week, we're testifying on all of those. So I already did Cascade Restoration, which is so important. We need to do that. And Kyle Luce, the Jackson County Parks Director, came up and testified with me. He did a great job. Of course, some of that equipment is from 1932 when it started. So we do need to help restore that. We know that's a major landmark here and great for our economy. And we have 500,000 people visit the Cascades every year. So we need to keep that going. So we testified on that. Tomorrow, I think I have 6 of them I'm testifying on. Andy's Place, of course. We're going to try and get them some more money to help people with addiction get back on their feet. That's so important. Mike Hurst does a great job over there. Interfaith Shelter, we want to help them get money for the Family Center. So Steve's going to come in and help with that. We have such wonderful people who run these agencies and do so much for our community, especially for our vulnerables. So I want to make sure they get in the spotlight. Junior Achievement's another one I'm doing tomorrow. Family Service Children's Aid. Bob Powell's going to come down and testify. So it's going to be a good day.
So these used to be called earmarks.
Right.
but the appropriations process has changed, and it seems like it's for the good in that it's more transparent. A lot of things kind of got slid under the radar in the past.
Right. It's so important that what you're asking for is really, to me, it's really going to help people in your community. I mean, that's what you want to do. You don't want to like a $4,500 coffee machine or a hip hop academy or something that really doesn't need to happen and spend millions and millions of dollars on it. It's really important that we focus in on what's really going to help people in your district and the state.
You've got a couple of bills that you've been working on. You've got one that passed out of your committee known as Silver Alerts.
Yes, Silver Alert. I don't know if, when you go to Florida, you see it a lot. And as the population ages, it's really important. It'll work like Amber Alert, but for older people. So especially people who have dementia or Alzheimer's when they, walk away from the house and you can't find them. And a lot of times it ends up tragic with them. So this will go out just like Amber Alert on your phone and TV, and it'll let people know we're looking for this person. This is where they were last seen. So it'll work much like that. And I think 37 states have it already.
Yeah, and I think we have seen in southern Michigan a handful of these in just this year.
Right.
Where people have left a care facility.
And actually in my committee tomorrow, we're having an expansion of an Amber Alert bill. And what this would do, see, right now with Amber Alert, it only covers kids who are thought to be abducted or kidnapped.
Oh, what about someone that
So if someone
walks away?
Nope, or if it's a custody battle or something, it doesn't cover that. And there's been a lot of tragic situations. So this two-bill package, which will come before my committee tomorrow, and I'm sure it'll pass out, will cover the other areas, where kids walk away or, those that are not considered kidnapped or missing.
Did you ever lose your kid at the mall or anything like that?
You know what the twos do? They like to hide in the clothes racks. They like to, oh yeah. I think any of us who have kids know it, no matter how much you keep track of them, they do like to wander off. They test you at that age.
Yeah, that's what, and I think they purposely do hide in the clothes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the trick, parents. New parents, when they're able to walk, they're able to hide.
You can have a cup of coffee and you can put it in the highest place in the house and they will find a way to get to that. They're just amazing. They're a lot smarter than we give them credit for, that's for sure.
And of course, we'll always say, and I get a lot of grief for saying this, when we were kids, our parents had no clue where we were.
I know. I had 7 brothers and sisters. Are you kidding me? Yeah, my poor parents, but somehow we made it through.
Yeah, left the house in the morning and came back when they called for us at dinner.
Yeah, the bell rang, and everybody. But it was great, and I would love to see it get back to that. Neighbors. There were a lot of neighborhood watch groups. Neighbors looked out for neighbors and for kids, and it was really nice, back then. And yeah, here I go again saying like you back then. I'd like to get back to that, where everybody really knows their neighbors, takes care of each other. I think that would help a lot.
I do too. You mentioned family service and children's aid. You've also got another bill that you're working on, a foster care bill that has to do with benefits.
Yes, and I did introduce this last year, but it didn't get through, but it'll go to my committee, so I know it will get to the House floor. And it's very bipartisan. So the Social Security benefits or military benefits now go back to the government instead of the child, and it's their money. So what my bill does is at age 14, 40% of that money will go into a little nest egg, age 18, 80%, and then I think age 18 is 100%. And then when they age out of the system, they have this nest egg of money that they can use. And I also put financial literacy in there to help them budget the money and decide what they need to use it on. We expect these kids to age out of the system and they have nothing. They don't have relationships, they don't have money, and how are they supposed to be successful? So we have a lot more to do with our foster care kids, but this is a first step to helping them.
Yeah, you're right. In many cases, they're handed a grocery bag with their stuff, and that's it.
And we have My Place, of course, which helps, place some of these kids, but we need about 50 more of those houses to help.
Yeah, and that expanded. Now there's services for not just girls that age out, but also boys.
Right. But it's just a first step. We do have to do so much to help those kids and a lot of our at-risk kids. So I'm working on other things at the state level to deal with that.
The folks at Experience Jackson in the Chamber, they have this new initiative called Drive Jackson. I know you're familiar with it. They're surveying people, and I've talked to a lot of people that have filled out the survey, and they've volunteered that they are asking about the roads, the roads, the roads, the roads. That is, as you mentioned, something that's key to House members, and you do have a
Right.
plan. So what is there is there a light at the end of this?
So we have our bill sitting in the Senate. We did have our people testify, and they just criticized it in the Senate. The governor has her bill. What's different with our plan is we feel we can do it with cuts and not raising taxes. The governor thinks we have to do both, raise taxes and do cuts. But we have a plan where we can do it without raising taxes, which people don't need their taxes raised right now. So we have our plan. The governor has her plan. We're waiting for the Senate again to try and do something because it has to be done. And like I said before, I know the governor wants to fix these local roads, and we want to fix the local roads. And I mean, it affects everything from people to businesses to ruining our cars. We have to get it done. They just keep getting worse and worse. So I'm really confident and optimistic that we will get something done. I am. I'm an optimist anyway, but I do think we're going to get something done on it.
Well, next year's an election year. We have, I don't know how many people, 8, 10 people that have already declared they're running for governor.
Yeah.
Have you attached your wagon to any of the horses?
No, I try to stay out of that. You know, I'm not, as you know, I'm not really a politician. I tell you that all the time. I'm just here to, you know, when you see the needs in the community and what we need to focus on, that's what I'm focused on.
Next week is the Jackson County Fair.
Yes.
If you could enter, or if you were required to enter into the competition for food, growing something for a hobby, for a collection, is there a Kathy Schmaltz specialty?
I would call you up, Bart, and say, what do you want to enter? No. I look to other people who have those great talents, whether it's cooking or art. My son, I think, did put in some pictures for the photography and artist a few of the years. But no, I think that other talents.
Oh,
that
come
people
on, there
have.
must be something.
No, I don't know.
All right, well, you got a week to think.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you. It's always good to see you.
Same here. State Representative Kathy Schmaltz.